Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the second Virtual Wargaming Live Battle Report. I'm back with another game of 6th edition Warhammer Fantasy using the Border Patrol rules. Today's game is between Wood Elves and Vampire Counts, playing out the flank attack scenario. It occurs to me in this exact moment that in my other battle reports, I almost never do any unique scenarios, and now here I am, just trying out everything. So isn't that exciting? Alright, so I've obviously already done deployment. I've already done first turn. The Wood Elves are going to be starting. So let me start off by going over their army list. Then I'll have a look at the vampire counts. And then we'll jump into it. So first off, leading the Wood Elves, we have a Wood Elf Noble. She's mounted on an Elven steed. Yes, I know that's an elk, but I'm calling it a steed. I like fancy, weird mounts for my models. And she is equipped with a light armor and the Bow of Lorraine, which, for anyone who doesn't know, that lets her make as many shooting attacks as she has melee attacks. In this case, it's going to be 3. So she's just going to be kind of flittering around the battlefield and being obnoxious. For our core, we have some Glade Guard, a unit of 10 of them. They're going to be up on this hill, and they're probably going to spend the entire game here, because that is what happens when you have a ranged unit and a hill. And then finally we have some, finally on the field we have some Dryads with a branch nymph in them. Goodness, I cannot speak right now. And then coming in on the right flank we have the Warhawk Riders, 3 of them. The astute among you may notice that these tokens are basically just the ones that I used from the recent one, Blue Forest, I think the battle was. I don't remember exactly what it was called, but I liked them, so I'm using them again. Sue me. Alright, so from now, over to the vampire counts. We are doing a Von Carstein list, and so first off, we have a Vampire Thrall, who has the Wolf Form ability, as well as heavy armor and a shield. And he is accompanying a unit of 5 direwolves. Putting a little character in a unit of cavalry is so funny, but I have heard this is a really cool idea and I want to try it out. So we're going to see how this goes. Then, for our other core, we have a unit of 25 zombies. This is the absolute cap that you can bring into a Border Patrol game. So, realistically, half of them are going to be dead before they get to the other side. And with the positioning, I'm fairly confident we just can have Dryads on the flank. But that's kind of the point of zombies, let's be honest. And then finally, for us, well, not finally, we again have a flanking force. But finally on the field right now, we have 5 Black Knights with a Hell Knight put in for them. These guys don't have any extra gear, which I believe Black Knights can get. I'm going to quickly double check that. I think I have misunderstood something. I'm going to be back momentarily after checking that. Alright, and I am back, and it is a good thing that I checked. Yes, they do not normally have a barding, which they've chosen to drop for this game. So these guys are only going to be running 3-up saves, which is actually going to change a lot, and I'm very grateful I thought of it. Finally, for the Vampire Counts flank attack, we have a single Bat Swarm, and just look at these goofy little guys. I love them so much. I apologize for abrupt, sudden changes of direction. I don't know. It's 5 a.m. right now. I am tired. But I want to get this game in. So, let's get started with the Wood Elves. So, until turn 3, there is going to be no appearance, or no action, I should say, from the flanking forces. So, we are going to hop right in with some movement from the Dryads, and they're going to book it 10 inches, I think they can go. I'm going to double check that in just a moment. They are booking it 10 inches. Yes, and they're just going to basically be ready to hit the zombies in the flank. Then we have the Wood Elf Noble, and she is going to very carefully move forward, because we do not want to give any charges to the enemy on this game, if we can help it. I'm going to just position her like that. And then, since Wood Elves ignore the penalty for moving and shooting, we're just going to quickly wheel the Glade Guard around to get a slightly better angle at the enemy. And that is going to wrap up our movement phase. Now we're on to the shooting phase, and I'm going to be losing 3 shots with the Bow of Loren at... It's only strength 3, so realistically we're not going to kill a Black Knight. No, that's absolutely not going to pan out. We're going to lose everything at the zombies. So we'll start off with our Glade Guard, who are at long range. And so they're going to make 10 attacks that will hit on 4s, that will wound on 4s, and will save on 7s. And that is 2 dead zombies. And then for the Bow of Loren, I'm going to do the same thing. 3 attacks. These ones hit on 2s because we have Ballistic Skill 6. So it drops us down to like basically Ballistic Skill 5 from long range, and that's still going to hit on a 2. So then we're going to wound on 4s, save on 7s, and that's another 2 dead zombies. And that is going to mark the end of the first Wood Elf turn. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to cut these zombies off. Now, they aren't in range of the general, which is 12 inches, so they actually can't march. I didn't even think about that when I was deploying them, but that's okay. They're not really expected to get into the combat, so they're just going to move 4 inches forward. We're going to wheel our little Hell Knights. They're unit 3. That's half an inch, and then these guys have 16 inches that they can go. So we're going to just sort of yeet them up to here. I'm going to wheel them just a bit more. And I think they went 13 inches. I'm going to quickly try and see if I can check that. Yeah, that was about 14 inches actually. So they've only got a 1.5 inches left of wheeling. And that is more, so we can just scoot them back just a little bit. Perfect. And then finally, the Wolves. So these guys have movement 9, fast cavalry. So they're just going to go like this. And like about there. Wheel them. Wheel around. Scoot these guys in. Unfortunately, when you have models that aren't the right size, they behave weird on these situations. I'm just quickly checking that he is correctly configured. Yeah, differently sized models just behave oddly in this, unfortunately, and you just kind of have to deal with it. So with that, that is going to mark the end of the Vampire Count's first turn. I'm going to make a little note again, end of turn 1. And now we're into the Wood Elves' turn. So, realistically, I reckon the Dryads can make the charge, but do I want to? I could try this charge. I don't like my odds on that, though. I know the gully's about 12 inches long. I know this is about 12 inches long. And, like, projecting that. Oh, then again, 10-inch charge. Maybe they can make it. Ah, screw it, we're gonna try it. Alright, so these guys are charging this way, and they are 11 inches away. That is pain. So they're going 5 inches. But that's okay, they are still screening the zombies, which is part of what I needed them to do. And then, unfortunately, the Wood Elf is going to need to, whoops. She's gonna need to go like 9 inches. And then we're gonna face her this way. And real quick, we're just gonna see if she has line of sight. And yeah, she does. So she can see those wolves, which is probably what we're gonna be firing at this turn. Okay, so with that, we're on to our shooting phase. Alright, so I'm going to shoot the Wood Elf Noble at the wolves. So we're gonna do 3 attacks. Hit on 2s. Wound on 4s, save on 7s, go. That is 1 dead wolf. Oh, technically, actually, I meant to randomly assign it, so we're just going to roll a d6. And yeah, it's 1 dead wolf, okay. I would say 6 would be hitting the Vampire Thrall, which would actually be less than ideal for them. Oh, I'm going to roll it back a little bit. I've realized now I should have moved the Glade Guard, so I'm going to quickly do that. Now, so just going to wheel a bit more, so they're better facing the Black Knights. And now they are all going to open fire, and because they are all at short range, they are now strength 4. So that's going to be 10 shots that hit on 3s, because we're at short range, wound on 4s, and save on 4s. And that is 1 dead Black Knight. So we're going to really hope in the next turn that they do really well on that shooting against the charging unit, because otherwise they are dead. Let's go ahead and pull these guys. I'm just going to wheel him in. Oh, yep, okay, so this is a little glitch that we have, unfortunately, with the wheeling macro, but it's very easily fixed. It basically just expects there to be the number on the front row that I said how wide it is going to be. So it was expecting 6 models. There was only 5. But I can just reset the ranks real quick. So that is going to be end of the Wood Elf turn. We're on to the Vampire turn. Okay, so the Black Knights are going to declare a charge at the Glade Guard, who will attempt to stand and shoot. The Zombies are going to declare a charge at the Wood Elf Noble. And then the Wolves can't do anything. Alright, so let's start off with the leadership test, the fear check for our Glade Guard. They pass, they're good. And now let's check if our zombies are actually in range. They are, so now she has to make a fear check as well, which she also passed. Does she want to flee anyway? I'm going to take it. I'm going to see what happens here. Alright, so these guys are going in. So they would wheel. Again, the same glitch that I just mentioned. You'd think I would remember, but of course. Alright, and then short range firing. 4s, 4s, 4s. They're hitting on 4s because of the stand and shoot penalty. 2 more dead. Okay, that's actually huge. So then these 2 are dead. Oh, no, not this one. Oh no, actually, I'll just mark a new commander. That's fine. Alright, so we have a second commander. Well, the command model has been moved, basically, is what's happened here. These guys are going to actually properly align. And then we're going to form their ranks again one more time and wheel them correctly and slam them in. And again, we are maximizing ranks. So these guys go forward 6 inches in, then we have to slide them over. Technically, they're not supposed to be that close. I, generally speaking, ignore the 1 inch away rule because I am playing virtually. So the practicalities of, like, is something in combat or not isn't really a detail, and, like, I don't need to get a finger in between here or something. It's just I grab the model and I drag them. So long as they're not, like, touching each other, I think that's totally fine. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to break the Vampire Thrall off, and he's going to move to here. No, we're not going to do that. We're going to move the whole unit. Oops. And we're going to move them up here. And then we're going to wheel them around like so. So this way, they're threatening a flank charge here and protecting the Wood Elf Noble's fleeing path. I think she can actually determine which direction she flees, so she'd probably flee like this way. But hopefully she won't have to. She's just gonna have to. There is no way she's doing enough damage to outpace these zombies. Alright, so with that out of the way, let's get into the combat phase. And I'm going to start with the Wood Elf Noble. Zombies always attack last, so she'll attack first. She has 3 attacks. She hits on 3s, she wounds on 3s. They save on 7s. Go. Just 1 dead zombie. So they will get 3 attacks. Oh no, she has a horse. I forgot about the horse. That horse has Let me see. Hits on 3s, wounds on 4s, saves on 7s. Go. Hey, the horse did something. Good job, buddy. Alright, so that's only 2 zombie attacks back. So 2 attacks that will hit her on 5s, because she's got double. Will wound her on 5s, and she saves on 5s as well. So no wounds, but she's still going to be fleeing because she is outnumbered by a fear-causing enemy, and she did not do enough damage to offset the +4 combat res on that guy. So let's go over here. We have 2 Black Knights. Black Knights are weapon skill 3. Oh, but one of them is the commander, so it's 3 attacks. They'll hit on 4s, they will wound on 2s, and they will save on 7s. That is only 1 dead Glade Guard. That is genuinely impressive. And then we have 2 attacks from the horses, hits on 4s, wounds on 4s, saves on, I think, 7s still. I didn't roll a 6 on my, I didn't roll any wounds, so never mind. That is completely irrelevant. 4 Glade Guard get to attack back. They will hit on 3s, they will wound on 5s, the enemy will save on 3s. Go. No wounds. But they are still going to win the combat because they have the numbers. So let's go ahead and resolve the Wood Elf Noble. She is going to have to flee 3d6 inches. She goes 11. Okay, I am not certain what the rules are, and I don't want to sit here and go looking them all up. So I am going to roll in this moment that she can go not directly away. Actually, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to roll that she has to. So she's going to go 11 inches straight into the enemy, and that will kill her. And then the enemy goes 2d6, 4 inches forward. And so these guys, I mean, I could have not pursued, honestly, but with leadership of 2, yeah, they're going to pursue regardless, so I'm not going to try and restrain. Alright, so that's dead zombies. And then over here, combat res, 1 wound was dealt. These guys have a rank bonus, they outnumber, and I'm going to say they had the high ground. So they won by 2, which actually just kills the Black Knights. That's really good. They are not fanatics, they are dead. And then the Wood Elf Noble is also dead. Okay, so we're going to pull all of our dead guys off the field real quick. And I'm just going to go ahead and very quickly determine preemptively do some victory point calculations. So VPs right now, Wood Elves have scored 131 VPs, and the Vampire Counts have scored 124 VPs. That's actually shockingly close at the start. And that is end of turn 2. Let me very quickly check the rules on the scenario. My apologies for being scatterbrained as all hell. If you watch my videos for any amount of time, you're going to hear that phrase a lot. And I am going to restrain myself from repeating it. Alright, yeah, it's on the 3rd turn. And at the start, so this is the 3rd turn. So let's go ahead and see if our Warhawks arrive. So on a 4+, they do. And yes, they do. And so they can come in anywhere on the attacker's half of the board. So we're going to put them like here. And then they get to move 20 inches. So I'm going to zoom up to here. But they're not allowed to charge this turn. And then for the rest of my Wood Elf movement... okay, so these zombies are going to get tied up. So we're going to about face this way. So this is going to be a reform real quick. So these guys wheel around, and I'm just going to scoot them up to here. I think it's a valid reform position. Or maybe they're supposed to be back a bit. I don't know. I don't care. And then finally the charge for the Dryads. I should have done this first, I realize, but like, whatever. It doesn't make any difference. I'm the one playing this game, so I'm free to make it work however I want. So I'm going to do... Whoops, wrong one. Alright, so these guys don't have their setup done real, so let me quickly do that. Boom rakes, wheel them around, slam them into the side. Perfect. Okay, and then of course, whoops, I unwheeled that unit. So, shooting phase. Point blank, we're going to have 9 archers into the wolves. I'm going to go ahead and roll these individually. So, 7 successes. So then we're going to have to distribute these randomly. So I'm going to say that on 6s they hit the vampire thrall and everything else they don't. So let's go ahead and do that. Alright, so this is 7 hits all into the wolves. They don't have any armor, so I'm literally just going to roll it like this. And they are toughness 3, so this is going to be 3s to wound. Go. 4 successes. Okay, so the entire wolf unit just evaporates around the vampire. That's fun. And then our remaining Warhawk Riders are going to fire at the vampire as well. They have, I think they still have longbows, don't they? Yes, they do. Okay, so unfortunately, 2 of them are short range and 1 of them is long range. So that is going to be 2 that will hit on 3s and 1 that will hit on 4s. So I'm just going to roll the one that hits on 4s manually. And he misses. And then the one that hits on 3s, 2 attacks, hit on 3s, wound on, I'm going to say 5s? Yeah, 5s, and save on 4s. Go. Nothing. Alright, about what I expected to happen. So that's another 50 victory points for the Wood Elves. And now we have the Dryads just tearing into these zombies. So that is going to be 11 attacks that will hit on 3s, will wound on 3s, and save on 7s. Go. Yeah, so that's going to be 5 dead zombies, and then because the entire line died, they don't get to attack back. Which brings us to combat resolution. So that is on the flank, 5 guys dead, no outnumber yet, so only 6 extra zombies die. 5 and 6. But yeah, next turn it's not looking good for them. So I guess the question is, can the vampire thrall solo? And the answer is probably not. So then it's on to the vampire count's turn. Roll 1d6, and their bat swarm doesn't arrive yet. So really the only thing they can do is charge the vampire thrall at the unit. He is too close for them to get a stand and shoot. They fail their fear check, so they're going to be hitting on 6s this turn. So that's actually not the worst thing for him. So he charges in, and then that brings us to combat. So he has 3 attacks. He hits on 3s, he wounds on 2s, they save on 7s. Go. So he kills just 1 blade guard, unfortunate. And they get 2 attacks back. Oh, he's gonna die, isn't he? I just realized that. Because, of course, he has a lot of combat penalties. He's going to be outnumbered. They have the high ground. They have a rank. Yeah, that's going to kill him. Whoops. I fear this is going to be another really short recording, and I apologize for that. So, 3 guys. I'm going to... No, actually, I'm not going to give them the benefit from this guy. They don't need it. So that's going to be 6 attacks, hit on 3s, wound on 3s, save on 7s, go. 4 more dead zombies. Which is going to be enough to completely wipe the field of the undead, the combat res, because they are losing by 6, so that unit just perishes. And then, yeah, as I said before, rank bonus, outnumber, on a hill, 2 wounds worth. He only has 2 wounds of combat available, so he is dead. And that is going to bring us to the end of the game very anticlimactically. So that's going to be end of turn 3. This one ended even sooner, and that is going to be 500... Well, okay. Not 500... Yes, 500 victory points, because the bat swarm never arrived. Actually, technically 600, maybe more. I'm going to quickly check my table edges. So that's going to be 24 inches by 18. And then... Yeah, I don't need that all the way down. Yeah, so that's going to be 600 victory points for Wood Elves to a mere 121 for the vampire counts. 124, my apologies for all the difference of 3 points make. So with that, I hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you all tomorrow for... Oh, I didn't tell you what this was all about, did I? I will mention this now before I forget. So October is the 25th anniversary of Warhammer Fantasy 6th edition, and I decided I wanted to do something for it. And I decided for some reason that thing was going to be one video every day for the rest of the month. Will I succeed? Unknown, but I've got a head start. This isn't October yet. I'm recording in advance. I'm not going to date the video by saying exactly when. But hopefully when I start uploading these, I should have like 2 weeks worth already prepared, and I just have to finish the other 2 weeks in the month. With that in mind, I will see you tomorrow. There is going to be another Border Patrol game, and then after that we're going to be moving on to exploring other formats. I'm going to be experimenting with new ideas that I've never tried before. Going to be playing scenarios I haven't looked at for bigger games. I'm going to be playing around with the scenario generator. I have a lot of ideas that I'm going to run out, so I hope you all will enjoy them when the time comes. And until then, au revoir.